Could I have your attention for a minute?
Just another Friday get-together. Bunch of guys, a hot drink, some cool stories, a place where wishes incubate and ideas are hatched.
Sometimes interesting where you join a coffee group and you think nothing comes out of it. It was wonderful to engage a person of 90 years old who was at Normandy. He was there, he was in the trenches.
But something did come of it. Cliff's autobiography, or maybe we should call it a healing book.
And it wouldn't have been in print if it hadn't been for Ian.
I realized that people need to leave a written legacy.
June 6, 1944. Sweeping onto the Normandy shore, the massed strength of Allied armies lanced forward to crack open Fortress Europe.
When I came out of the Army, I had made a lot of little notes on every piece of paper I could find during the war. Well, I thought it was a therapy. It was helping me, yeah. Even to this day, I'm still bothered with this post-traumatic stress, yes.
Most of us want to leave some part of ourselves behind when we pass on. Most of us don't.
Well, I thought the children should know what Dad did, you know, during the war. There's so many people that came out of the Army that they had far more dangerous positions probably than I had, but they didn't write about it. And a lot of the young people are growing up with the idea that it was just one big party. You know, that's my theory.
If you had been there that summer, they said, you would always smell death in Normandy.
We went ashore, and the first person I met was my brother on the beach in Normandy, the last time I seen him. And he said, "Keep your pecker up and your head down and we'll make it through this." That was his last words to me. I think a lot of us thought it was going to be an adventure. We never thought about the fighting part of it. But one reason I went in the Army is because I just couldn't make a living. Times were tough.
Cliff spent most of his time on a motorcycle as a field mechanic on the front line from 42 to 45. The Royal Canadian 4th Field Artillery was his life. A life he can face a little easier now since he and Ian self-published the book.
I couldn't talk about the war for years and years. I couldn't talk about it. In fact, I still jump out of bed. It's that bad yet.
The Horror of War and the Joy of Joyce, it took nearly 70 years to complete. He wrote it for his family. His granddaughter Jessica's glad he did.
Remembering the past is so important, and I think sharing these stories with my grandpa while he's still with us is more important than remembering them after. I want to share them with my grandpa, and I want him to know that I know them and that I respect him and what he did.
To this day, I sometimes still see that old gray-haired lady half sitting, staring at me with a shocked look on her face.
What kind of person or people would do this to an old couple, and for what reason, and why?
Just poured it out in terms of these words. It wasn't edited, it was just came out in this prairie North Albertan style of writing. It wasn't the Globe and Mail English, it wasn't the Queen's English, but it was beautifully, simply written.
Although the writing of the book was hard, Ian says it's simple to self-publish a book via the internet.
Put it together and you just join it all together in a big PDF file and you send it off on a Tuesday and it comes back as a book on a Friday. So it's really simple to do, and I don't know why more people don't do it.
When the war ended, Cliff eventually got shipped back to Canada. Because he told me he went AWOL, absent without leave. Apparently he was seeing this girl, but that's another story.
I fell in love with her the first day I seen her. And we still get along very well after 68 years.
This graveyard and cemeteries all over this country are filled with soldiers like Cliff. Most World War II veterans are in their 90s now, and soon all of them will be gone. In Victoria, I'm Paul Beistein.